All right, welcome into our Grid Network Game 4 NBA Finals post-game and really right now fourth quarter reaction show. I'm Bryson Carver. Arthur Hurst will be joining us shortly. Listen, this Game 4 has been absolutely fantastic. We got about 6 minutes to go in this basketball game. Pacers with a 3-point lead, 94-81 over the Thunder, looking to take a 3-1 lead. And listen, this has been, we know it's been a back-and-forth series. That goes without saying. Really, what's funny is for a series that was supposed to be just so lopsided in favor of Oklahoma City, Game 2 is kind of the only dud we've had. I guess Oklahoma City dominated most of Game 1 as Miles Turner's got the best shooters to bounce I've ever seen on a free throw in my life. So it is now Pacers the 4-point lead and a silly foul 94 feet away from the basket. OKC's not in the bonus yet. So listen, thus far, for those that have not watched this game, I hate to hear that because it has been, in my opinion, even better than last night's game, just because of the stakes and what Oklahoma City's in the line, trying not to go down 3-1. No team, also the 2016 Cavs, don't remind me as a Warriors fan, have come back from a 3-win deficit in the finals. On the other side, if you're Indiana, man, you can take a chokehold in this finals, a Tyrese Halliburton / Reggie Miller like chokehold, and this has been as good as it gets. Listen, Vegas, I don't know if the everyone betting this game is just Oklahoma City Thunder fans. Either that or they're just projecting the Thunder to be not just an all-time great regular season team, but an all-time great, legendary NBA franchise in the history of the league or NBA team in a single season ever. Because coming into Game 3, they were a 5.5-point road favorite, which I picked the Pacers straight up. I thought was crazy. And so obviously I took Indiana plus 5.5. Listen, I'm not a betting man. That's why the segment on my show during football season is called If I Were a Bet Man. But the fact that after a loss down 2-1 with Game 4 on the road against a red-hot Pacers team, the Oklahoma City Thunder were a 6.5-point road favorite, to me is unbelievably disrespectful to the Indiana Pacers. So I picked Oklahoma City to win by 2. I think 120-118 was my final score. Doesn't look like that's going to happen as it relates to the score. Jalen Williams just tied the game with a layup. To tie it at 95 apiece as we get to 5 minutes to go in this basketball game. I just thought it was unbelievably disingenuous to what this finals has been, what this second half of the regular season has been for this Indiana team, as Halliburton just hit one high off the glass to give the Pacers a 2-point lead. We are officially in a clutch game for the third time in 4 games in these finals. Listen, for all the haters who are like, this finals is not interesting. It's too small markets. To me, there are 2 issues with these finals. Number one, there's not a true villain, as Jalen Williams just missed a mid-ranger, tapped out. SGA's got it, and he's going to the paint. He's going to lay it up and in to tie it back up at 97. But for a finals that everyone's like, this is no fun. This isn't interesting. I don't know. This is good basketball. 2 very different basketball teams. Listen, for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and we'll talk about it. If this performance continues, if he doesn't come up big late, as Halliburton's going to get to the free throw line. Again, that's been a revelation here in Game 4, is that you are seeing a little bit. It's not that the moment's necessarily too big for SGA, but I compared a couple of the last few times that we've seen a team down 2-1 in the NBA Finals, recent examples. The Bucks were down 2-1 to the Phoenix Suns in the 2021 Finals. Game 4 was in Milwaukee. Giannis not only goes crazy, has a big-time stat line, but has one of the greatest defensive plays in final history. The block on DeAndre Ayton, all-time great defensive play in the history of the finals. And then the next year, my guy, my team, the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, were down 2-1 at Boston. And Steph has, in my mind, the greatest game of his career. 43 points, 10 boards, I think he hit 7 threes in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Scored 10 in the fourth quarter, put the game away with a dagger 3 over Derek White with under 2 minutes to go. If you are an MVP of the league, and I get that SGA is young and whatnot, I do think we have to have some perspective on who he is. He's in year 6. He's older than Luka. If Luka were doing this, 22 points, which is fine, but under 50% shooting with 0 assists, consistently. Well, listen, we rip Luka for, man, he's not in shape. He's tired at the end of these games. I'm watching these finals, even go back to Game 3. SGA looks gassed. He looks like he has minimal, gas left in the tank, and this is what Indiana presents to you. I mean, look at Halliburton, 15.7 assists, but just finding, picking his spots and where to be aggressive, and obviously getting his teammates involved as well, as Hallie just hit 2 free throws with 4:19 to go. Pacers are up 99-97. But it is I think kind of that next step for SGA is, okay, how do I find other ways to impact the game when my team needs, as he just turned the basketball over, Pacers in transition, they're going to bring it back out. But that's where Indiana kills you, though. We're going to get out in transition. We're going to force turnovers. We're going to have the best half-court defense in the NBA. Okay, let's make them not guards in the half-court. Let's put them on their heels. Halliburton, a step-back three, just got blocked, but Neesmith got the foul and was fouled by Lou Dort. Big-time break for the Indiana Pacers here on this spot. So, yeah, Dort just fouled. It was Neesmith, who has been just all over the place on the offensive glass, defensively, in the last couple of basketball games. Obviously, Knicks fans don't want to think about what he did in game one. SGA was actually who blocked Halliburton on this shot. Knicks fans don't remember that game one, don't want to remember that game one where Neesmith went nuclear, went prime 2016 Steph Curry just to give Halliburton the shot to hit that game-tying bucket to send it in OT. But Neesmith now at the line with 3:52 to go, and he rattles home the first. Indiana's up 3, and now it looks like Mark Dagnall and the Thunder are going to use a timeout. I have been relegated to a play-by-play man. You know what? Relegated is disrespectful. Listen, I do a show generally 3 times a week, about an hour to an hour and a half. It is not a fraction of the difficulty that it is to be a play-by-play broadcaster. And I don't care what sport you're in. If you just go to like Joe Buck's Instagram and look at, I take notes for my show. I prep for my show. I mean, it is the prep that these broadcasters do. The thing is, what's so fascinating to me, and I know we're getting off topic, but this is a commercial break, that is fascinating about broadcasters, the play-by-play men and women in this business, is that you have to act like you have watched every minute of every game. Because the thing is, the fans will know, right? If you're a Pacers fan, a Thunder fan, you could tell if Mike Breen is maybe not quite as in tune as you might be. And Mike Breen is the gold standard in this business. But yeah, just a big shout out to all the play-by-play broadcasters out there. Mike Breen is one of the best. But again, what you're seeing in this game, I mean, how many turnovers does Oklahoma City have? They had 17, 18 turnovers in game 3. And tonight, if we can pull this up, they have 12 turnovers. And by the way, if you're looking at SG's stat line, there is the element of, okay, game 1 was really good, actually. Had 30-plus points. But SGA, if I can pull this up here, make sure I've got this right. Because I want to make sure I get the free throw attempts for Shea correct. So game 1, the 1-point loss, the Pacers, Halliburton hits the buzzer beater. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander drops 38 points, shoots 8 free throws. They lose. Game 2 is the Thunder's only win thus far in the series. We'll see if they're able to come back and get the win tonight in game 4. SGA I thought was even better, particularly on his efficiency. Dropped 32 points, got to the line 12 times, made 11 of his free throws. So 8 free throws loss, 12 free throws win. Game 3 against Indiana, in which the Thunder lost by 9, got to the line 6 times. And tonight in a game where they trail by 3 points with under 4 minutes to go, obviously very well could lose this game, he shot 2 free throws. And this is kind of my knock on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, because it's funny, I was talking in our group chat at the Grid Network, and it's so funny. I really, 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 really want to root for SGA. He's a good kid. He's an excellent leader for this Thunder team, kind of a lead by example, cool, calm, collected. Almost looks like a Jalen Hurts quality about him on the floor. Efficient, shoots 51% from the field, averages 30 a game. He would have gotten my vote to be MVP, even though I think Jokic is the best player in basketball. All of that being said, it is this Harden-esque, over-reliance on the whistle that will come back to bite you in postseason time if you're relying on that. I think the turning point for this Oklahoma City team as it relates to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, getting to the line, not getting to the line. As you can see, Indiana's being physical on him. They're showing on ABC right now. He's getting grabbed by Andrew Nembhard, who's staying on the whole game, just like he did Jalen Brunson in the Eastern Conference Finals. Doing a great job on Shea. But if you are reliant on the whistle, if it's a game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you are not just getting to the line at an excessive rate, but doing so with gimmicky, non-basketball moves as if you're getting hit by a Mack truck, that's a problem. That's going to come back to bite you. And because we know 2 rules about the NBA. Well, really 3 rules. Young players don't play up to par in the playoffs. That's number 1. Number 2 is, Shaquille O'Neal calls them the others. They're always way better at home than they are on the road. And the last of which, officials are going to let you play. The deeper you go in the playoffs, the more they're going to let you, let you grab and hack and whatnot. As Neesmith, they're back from commercial break. Neesmith's looking to make this a 4-point lead for the Pacers. It's just, Harden struggled because of that, and also because the moment was always too big for James Harden. The moment's not too big for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's not the issue. I'm not watching a player who the lights are too bright for him. He's wilting under the pressure. I'm watching a guy whose style of basketball doesn't adapt that well to the postseason, or as well as it does for him in the regular season. And so he's got the ball right now, high post. And Nembhard's coming in to help. Is he going to try and draw the foul? And he got it. He got the call. There you go. So right on cue, just talking about him getting some line or not. He drew the foul. Neesmith's not arguing. I think it was a foul. I think he got him on the wrist. Look at this replay here. Yeah, Neesmith is all over him. That's a foul. Yeah, he got his hand in the cookie jar to Neesmith, and so SGA kind of did the Kevin Durant rip-through jump shot. So here's the 2 free throws. Drains the first. Shai's an 85+% free throw shooter, so no surprise here. Imagine he's going to knock down the second one. 3:34 left in this game. This has been the best game of these finals. There's no question about it. The desperation from Oklahoma City, the sense of urgency for the Pacers. They want to go and go up 3-1, have a stranglehold on the series, and potentially their first championship in the history of Indiana. And now it's a 2-point lead, 101-99 Pacers, as got about 3.5 minutes left in this basketball game. This is a fantastic finish. Halliburton's going to drive, lay it up, and in. Here we go. Fourth quarter, Halliburton is doing his thing once again, folks. 103-99 Pacers over Oklahoma City. Jalen Williams coming back the other way. SGA is going to set a screen for him. This is turned into a play-by-play broadcast, but what the heck? SGA is now guarded by Neesmith again on the right wing. Now you can kick it out. SGA is going to shoot a right wing 3 and drill it. Big shot for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He must have heard me calling him out. My goodness. 3-pointer to make this 103-102. Indiana under 3 minutes left in this game. My goodness. That's Oklahoma City's third 3 of the basketball game. They're 3 for 17. Neither team has shot it that well from 3 as Nembhard drive it. That looks blocked by Chet. Wow. All right, so now Oklahoma City coming back the other way with a chance to go ahead and take the lead here. SGA's got the ball. Neesmith's on him once again. Nembhard potentially could double. Here he comes. Mid-ranger. SGA drills it from the baseline. Man. First 3 for the Thunder since it was 55-53. They have trailed by as many as 10 points. And Indiana calls a timeout. Unbelievable. Seamus heard me calling him out. Ooh. Folks, I think Shai just got away with the travel. Unless they call that what's the rule they call in the NBA where it looks like guys take the third step, but that's like the carryover. I don't think it was that. Shai's pivot foot absolutely moved there. The officials might, unless I'm not aware of a certain rule in the NBA, that very well might have been a travel that the officials just missed. Nonetheless, that's 7 straight points for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 2 free throws, a 3, and then a mid-ranger from the left baseline. And now Oklahoma City leads by 1 with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left to go. This is unbelievable stuff, folks. Man, oh man. And y'all say, oh, this finals isn't good. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Yeah, I am insulted. Listen, again, there's 2 issues. Lack of a villain, and the production relative to previous finals ESPN has done is not quite up to par. Other than that, you got a great best defensive team, best offensive team. Neither team's won a championship before. Well, the Pacers and Mike's back. My bad. Getting so excited. I'm dragging these cords all over the place. Let's see. Okay, it is. Okay, so doors gather is what I meant. I'm going to say carryover. It was a gather. So, okay, here's Halliburton. Now he's going to kick to Siakam. We're going to approach 2 minutes remaining in about 8 seconds. Here's the screen. Ball's loose. Lou Dort's got it. Back the other way. Layup against Miles Turner. Blocked. Caruso grabs it. Throws it in. Dort was fouled. Okay, I thought that was going to be an and one for Caruso. So Dort was fouled. on the layup against Miles Turner, who said, I'm the best shot block in the league, but worst case scenario, no easy layups for you, Mr. Dort. Definitely a foul. He reaches over. Dort's falling down to the ground, but he hacks him on the right arm. So here we go. Two big free throws from Lou Dort. 2:02 remaining in this basketball game, and he bricks the first. Dort is not a great free throw shooter as is. Good three-point shooter, but just clanked the first free throw. And if he's ready for me to bring him in, I think I'm going to go in and bring Arthur Hurst into the mix because this is going to be a fantastic finish. Let's see. First of all, before I bring Arthur in, let's see this free throw. Dort hits the second, so it's Oklahoma City by 2 we are now officially at 2 minutes to go. So I'm going to go and bring Arthur Hurst, Grid Network contributor, into the mix if he's cool with it. As a matter of fact, I'll let me know when he's ready. There he is. Arthur Hurst into the mix. Arthur, what a game tonight, my man.
Yo, what's going on?
Here's a three from Halliburton. Missed it. Siakam just tapped it out of bounds. I'm basically doing like a play-by-play right now, Arthur, for the last, really since like 6 minutes left in this game. Thus far right now, takeaways, we got about 1:41 to go. So it's going to be a fantastic finish, but quickly thus far, early takeaways from this game 4.
Well, we talked about it. It's all about the fourth quarters and OKC knowing that they got to close.
There's a miss.
Right now, they're taking advantage of the fact that Indiana is shooting inefficiently in this fourth quarter. 5 of 15, 0 of 9 from 3. No, 0 of 6 from 3. So Indiana's having a little trouble scoring right now.
Nembhard's going to try and get a bucket against
trying to get in his bag.
Missed it. Jalen Williams got the ball. About a minute to go. Oklahoma City trying to hang on and even the series at 2 games apiece. Listen, it's funny. I was just kind of going at Shea. We're now officially under a minute to go. I was kind of going at Shea like, man, stop being so over-reliant on the officials. You're so great of a scorer. You can get your own buckets. And sure enough, he goes on a personal 7-0 run to give OKC the lead, which they haven't given up quite yet. Here he goes again. Step back, step through. Missed it, and he was fouled.
Yeah. See, but that's also one of those things is like Aaron Nesmith, he's such a good defender, but that was good defense. Like, you make Shea have to turn back on his pivot foot, right? And then you make him double clutch. Like, there was no reason to try to go for a block there. Like, just keep your hand up in front of his face and make him take a tough 2 instead. You put him at the free throw line, and it's one of those, like, that one was a bad foul. Miles Turner had a bad foul with about 6 minutes to go. You can't put them on the free throw line, and now they're in the bonus the rest of the way. So
there's one free throw down. OKC now up 3 with exactly 44 seconds to go. And to your point, like I just mentioned, when Shea hit what was only the third 3 of the game for the Thunder, they were 3 for 17 after he hit that shot. And as you mentioned, Indiana over from 3-point range. Neither team shot the ball that well. Shea just hit the second free throw to make it a 4-point game. Now you got a 2-for-1 opportunity for Indiana, right, Arthur?
Yep.
So here comes Halliburton back the other way. There's a screen from Turner.
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't call a foul.
Yeah, there was contact. Trying to get a shot. You're not getting the 2-for-1 here. Keep hurrying.
There's too much time gone.
Here's a 3 from Turner.
You got to make that.
Missed it.
Yeah, too much
ball
time
loose.
Gone.
There's a foul right there.
Foul.
Now that was Benedict Mathurin.
Now they're going to the free. Too much time wasting dribbling. You got to get the ball out your hands.
For against a long and rangy defender like Chet. Like, it's funny. I talked about a lot in this series. Like, Indiana's a team that loves to move the basketball. They're similar in some ways to like the mid-2010s Golden State Warriors in that respect. But against a half-court defense this good, like, sometimes you are just going to have to settle for the best look that you can possibly get.
Yeah, you can see there was what, 44 seconds left when
44 seconds.
Shot, you wasted 21 seconds basically trying to 3 hunt. Like, no, you have the mismatch with
Chet.
Not with Chet on that screen. You had the mismatch with Miles Turner and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, just give the ball to Miles Turner and let him try and go get a play. Like, you're in the bonus. That's one of those things where it's like you got to be aware of what's going on. You're in the bonus, so Shai either going to have to foul Miles Turner, or I believe he's in foul trouble right now, so he wasn't a foul. He just went 0
for 2. Benedict Mathurin just missed both free throws.
Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah, OKC just called timeout. They're up 4 with 23 seconds. Listen, Indiana's pulled stuff off like this before, so we you and I are too smart to go and call this thing over yet. But yeah, that's a brutal turn of events. How many points does Indiana have in the fourth quarter? Because they were up 7. This is kind of a reverse of Game 3 in some respects, because OKC was up 5 going into the fourth, and Indiana goes for I think 35 points in that fourth quarter, if memory serves me correctly. I mean, yeah, Pacers, best offensive basketball, only 16 points here in the fourth quarter. By far their worst quarter of this Game 4. 35, 25, 27, only 16 points. So I mean that's in a lot of respects that's your basketball game. And SGA, what is he at? Is he got to 30 now yet? He's at 31 points. Yep. Again, that 7-0 run to me is what I'm going to remember, Arthur, where it's, man, Indiana's starting to kind of pull away. This momentum is completely shifted for this finals. The Pacers are going to win this thing. He gets to the line, knocks down the 2 free throws, hits a big 3 on the right wing, and then probably got off with both a push-off and a travel, but nonetheless drilled the mid-range jumper on the baseline. That to me is the stretch of this game in my eyes. That's the best player on the floor taking over and making his presence felt.
Yeah, if you're Indiana, you're kicking yourself right now because you had this game. You had it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like they were the better team throughout most of this game, Arthur. I did.
Oh, no, absolutely they were. Nembhard doing a really good job defensively on SGA, making him work for every single point, making him take a lot of shots, not a lot of free throw attempts for SGA, but 11 fourth quarter points, that'll do it to you.
No question about it. And I'm trying to do that. Let's see, 25, 32, 30. Okay, so yeah, 49 bench points for the Pacers in Game 3, 35 in Game 4. We know, listen, the fascinating part about this finals is both teams are incredibly deep. So they're not going to necessarily run their starters into the ground per se, although I thought Dagnall did to a certain degree in Game 3. But now they just got to get the ball in bounds so they can hit some free throws. So they should have burned their second timeout. Or no, they're calling a foul on Mathurin, which that would be a technical. That would give OKC, I think, 1 free throw and the ball. So then that might really be game. Man, that is a death. So Shea's at the line to try and get his 32nd point. Man, Indiana's kind of melted down the stretch here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a shame. I thought this game was over.
I did too. Shea just made the free throw. 5-point game. OKC's going to throw it in again. That's a huge turnaround.
What happened?
Looks like, let's see what we got here. They called a foul on Mathurin?
Yeah, he held him.
I guess. I mean, it was a good, heck of a screen by Holmgren.
Yeah, it was, but Mathurin held Williams' right wrist, so he couldn't get far. He definitely did hold him.
9-0 run for the Thunder in the last 2 minutes, 50 seconds. That is amazing. Indiana's got almost 3 minutes without a basket.
Yeah, man.
Listen, it's games like this, you got to find a way to survive. Oh, ball's deflected. Indiana's got it.
Uh-oh.
Here comes Mathurin.
Don't foul.
Don't
foul. What are you doing? Let him score.
No, that's a smart foul because you're not letting him get the easy layup. Jalen Williams broke every bone in his body on the fall there.
No, bro.
But man, dog. I can't give him the layup if it's a 3-point game. I get it to a degree, but no easy layups for a guy that just went 0 for 2 just a second ago from the line. I totally get that from Jalen Williams. Benedict is not a good free throw shooter, so he's going to get an opportunity to redeem himself. Here we go. Missed another one. Man.
How many free throws has Indiana missed tonight?
Mathurin just missed 3 straight right there. How many? Let's see what we got.
Louise, bro.
Let's see that is.
And look, and what would happen if Jalen Williams really hurt himself right there?
No, I got it. Sure, that's a potential finals changer, but here's a second free. Do you try and miss this thing? They just made that one. I would have thought about missing it and trying getting a tip out. I remember Steven Adams did that. Here's a foul before the inbounder again. Man, Indiana's kind of falling apart right now. Missed free throws, fouling on screens from Oklahoma City on inbound passes.
I want to see the replay with that one. What happened here?
Oh, it's definitely a foul.
Shea
sold it a little bit, but it was that was I would have called like that. I mean, the guy's falling full speed. This isn't like him, as I've said, his flopping like he's got hit by a Mack truck move. But it's now back to a 5-point lead for the Thunder. That was a great opportunity to maybe cut this thing down to 3, and now it's back to 5, and OKC's got the ball. Like, this is a team that has not played a lot of close games this year of the Thunder, and it's shown at times. That game 3 against Denver, they struggle with the Memphis Grizzlies, the worst team in the playoffs in the first round. And
foul. What are you doing?
Here. Oh, here's another steal. Maybe. No.
Oh,
almost. Yeah, Siakam almost got that.
Wow.
But no, what I was saying though, the Thunder, I think, are one of the greatest teams in history as it pertains to like 20-point wins. And Indiana, this is kind of their bread and butter. So for the game to end the way that it's ended is pretty shocking. Now they got a foul or what? Yeah, this game's over. Shea foul with 7 seconds, so this baby's a wrap.
He got fouled earlier by Halliburton, but it was one of those where referees act like they didn't see he fouled him. They just didn't call it. So,
and Shea's going to end up finishing with 35 if he hits both of these free throws. I think. Let me check the box. I'm pretty sure it's 35.
Yeah, 34, I think.
Yep. So there's 34 right there, and this next one will make it 35. And this finals is 2-2 going back to Oklahoma City. Man, listen, I said it off the top. For those that said, this finals, 3 of the 4 games have been excellent, Arthur. You'll have to admit that. We've gotten 3 great basketball games. You have to admit that. Come on.
Sure, man. What in the?
That's a WTH shot. 111-104 is your final. Pacers fall to Oklahoma City to the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a 2-2 series going back to OKC. And by the way, I just realized something, Arthur. You know what the spread was for this game?
I think you said it was like 4.5 something. Didn't you?
6.5. 6.5. Those free throws gave the cover to Oklahoma City. Man, that's someone is.
What's his name? Alex Caruso deserves the game ball.
Oh, Caruso was fantastic. He had 20 points in this game, right? He had stretches in that third quarter, Arthur, where Indiana's pulling away. They're up by 10, and he'd hit a 3 or he'd get to the free throw, and he was aggressive all night. Alex Caruso in this game with 20 points was a plus 14, which was tied with Chet Holmgren for the best on the Thunder. He was fantastic. Yeah, 20 points. He had 5 steals in this game. 5 steals.
20 points, 9 shots, 5 of 7 free the free throw line. Yeah, he deserves the game ball.
He was listen, this was a Caruso game in the third quarter and an SGA game in the fourth. I mean, once this got to officially being a clutch time game, which for those that don't know, if the score's within 5 points with 5 or less minutes left, OKC outscored Indiana 14-7 down the stretch, including, I think that was an 11-0 run, a 12-0 run to close the game. That is a shocking turn of events on the part of the Pacers. So let's this is, I guess, officially now start of our post-game reaction. Thoughts, you sort of touched on Caruso. Thoughts on Oklahoma City tying this thing up, because it was starting to get out of hand. I think you and I are the same wavelength. Like, this is going to be 3-1 going back to OKC, and they're in trouble.
No, this was, man, it's one of those things where, they'll ask on the morning shows, is this more about OKC winning it or Indiana losing it?
It's my least favorite question of all time.
And it man, SGA came out aggressive. Well, he was able, though, those free throws got him going. Them free throws and that 3. And when you see the ball go through the net as a hooper, that boosts your confidence. And then you get the 2 on the baseline against Nembhard, and then that's where it's like, oh, okay, he's feeling it now. And so, great fourth quarter by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Defensively, too. I mean, again, 5 of 15, 0-6 from 3 at one point for the Indiana Pacers. Like, they just could not get anything to go. They just got away from they got away from what was working. And again, man, I get you're down 3. You want to try to go for the tie, but with 44 seconds left, you're trying to 3 hunt against Chet Holmgren. There was no need to try to force something. And now with time running down, you have no choice but to go get something. Like, that's a tough one. That's a tough L. And I'm in Indianapolis right now too, dog.
Oh, get out of town. Wow.
So
Okay.
I thought, I figured I'm like, you know what? Once this game's over, I'm gonna go see what downtown talking about. So we'll
Yeah,
see
it's
what
gonna be pretty quiet tonight. Yeah, but listen, this.
we'll see
Yeah,
what
go
the
ahead.
Indiana Fever do tomorrow.
No question. Listen, Caitlin's coming back tomorrow against the Liberty, so a lot of excitement still in Indianapolis. So they'll get another home game. Game 6, I think, is gonna be next Thursday. So this series is gonna at least nearly go the distance. We'll see over the next 2 games. Listen, I thought for Oklahoma City through large stretches, I thought they were forcing shots. It's not forcing shots from three because I don't even think they attempted 23s in this game, but just the inefficiency. There were times where I felt like for Indiana, they were dominating this game defensively. Miles Turner is the presence that he is down low. Nimhard is he's just a great on-ball defender. One of the better guard defenders that we have in this league. He's going to give you, feels like 2-3 steals a game just on pure effort. Obi Toppin was raining threes in the third quarter. Like that's going to be, our buddy Tyler just said in the group chat that, not going with Obi Toppin here in the last 5 minutes when he was one of those bench guys who kind of got you here will certainly will come into question for Rick Carlisle. Oklahoma City is so unique because they're being discussed, and understandably so, as an all-time great single-season team. They are so different from, especially in recent memory. We want to think about the Showtime Lakers or the Warriors or the Bulls or whatever. They're different from those teams in the sense that their 12-1 run to close the game is, I feel like, 80% fueled by their defense. Whereas we are just going to put the clamps on you at the perimeter. You ain't getting jacked down low. And Shea's just going to get a great look because he's a great player. And by the way, Jalen Williams was not good tonight. 3 out of 4 finals games. Jalen Williams has been mediocre. He's 8 for 18 tonight. 0 for 3 from 3-point range. Now he hit his 11 free throws to get to 27. But it's a unique style to build a champion. If Oklahoma City does end up winning this championship, and that was a gutsy last 6 minutes. I got to give them credit. That was very, very impressive.
It was all about who wanted it more. And Oklahoma City, their backs would have been so against the ropes if they go back home 3-1, dog. Like, you have no choice but to win that game. And then you win that game, you got to come back to Indianapolis and try to win that game 6 here. Man.
That's a big ask.
Man.
Listen, and part of what's great about these finals is both teams have a legit home court, and you're in Indianapolis right now. You kind of hit the nail on the head on you got to hit the nail on the head, I guess, on Sunday night after Game 2. You were like Indiana's got a great home court, and we've seen it throughout these playoffs against Milwaukee, Cleveland. We definitely saw it against the Knicks in the conference finals. Like there's certain crowds in the NBA that actually do affect outcomes of games. To the Indiana side, listen, I don't even think you can praise or rip Halliburton for this performance tonight. So I've done this graphic on my show, and I did it after Game 3. I'm just going to keep updating this, and we'll put it up here. Like, this is kind of what he is in the playoffs, 17.5 a game. The only exception was he averaged 19 against the Knicks, but 18 points tonight. He had 7 assists in this game, but again, was really quiet, had a brutal turnover late, if I remember correctly. 18 points on 15 shots, was only 1 of 7 from 3-point range. He had one of his 3-pointers blocked by Shea with under 3 minutes to go. Take on Halliburton, he's such a weird player, Arthur. Like, it's
that, and that's why I'm saying, like, that scoring aspect of a superstar is so huge, man. And it's again, I get the Chris Paul comparison, I do, but
I've more so said he's a superstar in the Chris Paul mold. I'm not saying he is a Chris Paul comp necessarily as a player.
Okay.
But more of he can score 20 any given night, but he's more so going to be he's going to give you 15 to 19, about 8 to 10 assists. Like, that's kind of his game. And tonight was kind of quiet throughout most of it.
I got a Chris Paul playoff stats. I got to see this, dog. I got to see this.
Yeah, let's get the comparison here. I'd love to see it. How about this? You look up Chris Paul, look up Halliburton career postseason numbers. Let's do that. Let's get that. I wish we had a graphic live on air.
Yeah.
Let me go in. So I'll pull up Halliburton's playoff numbers here on StatMuse. Let's see. Playoff stats. And then you let me know when you come up with Chris Paul, because I'd be curious to see how close this is.
I've got CP3s.
All right, go in. Let me. Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say Chris Paul. When was his last playoffs was Phoenix in 23. Okay, so I'm gonna go 18-8.
20 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists.
Okay, so I got the 8, so 20 points. Halliburton is 18 points, 8.8 assists, 5.3 rebounds. I mean, darn near identical. Like that's pretty close. CP3 averages a few more points. What was the assist exactly? Mine was 8.8.
8.3.
8.3. Okay, so I mean, pretty close. Slightly
What's
favor Halliburton.
What's Halliburton's field goal percentage?
His field goal percentage in the playoffs is 47%, 47.9.
Chris Paul's is 48.4. What about from 3-point?
3-point range, 35.6.
37.3.
That's now again, Chris Paul's going to give you more defensively than Halliburton, who's not a very good defender. CP3 for size, I thought was an excellent defender. And listen, it's just in that mold where I don't even want to say he's not good enough to get his own shot because we know he is. He had a 32-point triple-double against the Knicks. It's just he has an approach to the game. And if we feel stupid ripping it because it's like, bro, it's the second postseason. He's 2 wins away from a championship. And he's had an unreal, fourth quarters in many unreal fourth quarters in these playoffs. But there is an element of, man, you've got, I think the overwhelming majority of us, Arthur, would say, if Indiana won this game tonight, and it was looking that way for a while, it's over. Like, because not just because Indiana's going to have the game 6 at home, but they've won a game in OKC, and they're not scared of that road atmosphere. Like, that's not something that intimidates. They've won at Madison Square Garden. They won all 3 road games in Cleveland. They've won, in Milwaukee and obviously in Oklahoma City. Like that, this isn't something that phases them, where even if it were to get to game 7, I'm not writing the Pacers off for dead, and I'm still not writing the Pacers off the dead. It's 2-2 series, best of 3, but now OKC's got home court back, and the ebbs and flows this finals momentum-wise, where game 1, Oklahoma City, it might be fraudulent. They're not great closing games after the Halliburton game winner. And then they blow the doors off Indiana game 2. Oh, Indiana is not ready for the moment. OKC is readjusted. Pacers win game 3. Holy crap, OKC's in trouble. Now the Thunder find a way to go in and steal game 4. And, I feel like Oklahoma, I've guessed what the line has been for each game prior. Let's see what it's opened at, if it has it all.
I think my
9.5. OKC's favored by 9.5. Sorry, go ahead. In game 5.
My fault. That's on me. I think my problem or my hesitancy is that, and that I think I'm one of those. I got to remember that this is Tyrese Halliburton's second time in the playoffs, to where it's like I seen Chris Paul plenty of time in the playoffs, and it's just like, dog, the amount of, what's the word? I just had it in my mind. I don't know why. Dang. Chris Paul determined the outcome a lot of times in playoff games.
Yeah.
His what's the word I'm looking for, man?
Presence, his playmaking skills, obviously Lob City and with the Clippers. He just had a lot of determination of not input, but I don't know why I can't think of medal, maybe not championship medal because he doesn't have a ring, but this dogged competitiveness.
Yeah, I'll stick with presence. His presence determined a lot of the outcome of a playoff game, and I've just seen too many great Chris Paul performances to where that's again, yeah, he's going to give you 20. We just look at the playoff stats. But we've seen Chris Paul give us 40 and 8. You've seen him have a perfect shooting performance in the playoff game. Chris Paul, when it's time to turn it on, Chris Paul turns it on, dog. And he just looks like a totally different guard and player out there on the court. To where it's like with Halliburton, that's what I need, man. That's what I need from you. Tonight, it was cool, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I need 20 plus, dog. And if you're going to be the number 1 on this team, I'm going to need a good 25 and 10 from you every single night. Your play has to elevate come playoff time. That's another thing that Shaquille O'Neal talks about all the time. The great players, their play, their stats, everything elevates from the regular season to the playoffs. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, I got no problem, with people calling him a superstar and stuff like that. But I think it's too premature and too early, in my opinion, because I need to see you consistently give me, this effort, these stats, this, effect on the game night in and night out. I can't. I don't know, man.
Here's the thing about superstars in the playoffs that I've always said is kind of universal, particularly in the NFL and the NBA. As a great player, at the very least ask you to maintain your play going to the playoffs. Like, that was always the knock on James Harden, is he got demonstrably worse, especially as the games got bigger. Some of those game 6s and game 7s, particularly in Houston. But the all-time legends elevate. Tom Brady got better in the playoffs. Like, Patrick Mahomes, better in the playoffs. LeBron, Jordan, both got better. Steph Curry, better in the playoffs. Magic Johnson, better in the... And it's Halliburton, again, one more time we can show this graphic, like, it's not even a knock on him per se. Like, I think he averaged 17, 18 in the regular season. It's kind of what he's been in the playoffs. It's not a knock on him. That's just the reality of the type of player that he is. And listen, I don't think necessarily every game has to be like a referendum on him. He's in year 5, and this is the second playoff run. He's gotten to the finals, for crying out loud. But there is the element of, man, a couple more plays, dishing the ball out. And again, I thought Oklahoma City's half-court defense showed you why it's one of the best that we've seen in recent NBA history with that last stretch, but not getting transition. I mean, there was a stretch. I mean, you and I were kind of on it as it was happening. There's the switch where Miles Turner has, was it Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on him? And then obviously Chet Holmgren, who's obviously a great shot blocker, but is really good defending the perimeter. Tyrese, who's like a run and gun, move the ball, is just Charles Barkley would say, dribble. And you have an opportunity with 44 seconds left for a 2-for-1, and Nembhard clanks both free throws, and that's the basketball game. And their late game execution has been shockingly bad. It was a little clunky at the end of game 3 because some of those turnovers late allowed Oklahoma City some opportunities. They just missed their own free throws. But I'm curious if game 5 is close, and I don't even know how I feel about that game coming in, just because it's been such a odd series, going back and forth. Do I trust do I trust Indiana to be able to execute the way that they have these playoffs? Because they did in game 1, but the last couple games, clunky in game 3 and kind of bad in game 4. But that's kind of my take. Real quick, a couple comments on Instagram from John, Fan Perspective Podcast. He says, spoke too soon, talking about my commentary of SGA. No assists for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is crazy. Yeah, that's kind of remarkable. 35 points, no assists. Like, that's a Kobe Bryant performance right there, Arthur. I mean, it's... He said, I'm going to go down swinging, and he's still swinging. It's a 2-2 series. 10 for 10 from the free throw line, by the way, was SGA. By the way, double-digit free throw attempts for the Thunder 2-0. Under double-digit, 0-2. That's got it. That's just a part of his game, and so he was fantastic. Kudos to him. And Alex Caruso, again, who's being interviewed by SVP, who somehow SVP actually looks younger than Caruso. I'm just going to say that right now. Shout out to SVP and shout out to AC. But what a series that this has been thus far. Looking at the Pacers stat sheet real quick. Trying to see how many turnovers they had because they were really loose with the basketball late. Yeah, 15 turnovers. That's not going to get it done. Thunder had 2 fewer than that. Off the bench, Obi Toppin was great. I was a little bit surprised they didn't roll with him in the fourth quarter. Go ahead, Arthur. Or maybe not. Your mic's muted, Arthur.
Yeah, 1 second. My bad.
Yeah, you're good.
Nah, man, my fault. What were you saying, dude?
No, you're good. No, I was just gonna say, like, I was looking for turnovers for the Pacers. They felt like they got really loose in the fourth. They had 15 in this game, kind of similar to Oklahoma City's. I think it was 17 turnovers, 18 turnovers in game 3. I was surprised Obi Toppin didn't get more run late in the fourth quarter. He did have 17 points and hit 2 threes in this game, but I don't know. Just any sort of, then we can get out of here. Any sort of an early preview of game 5. How do you think that's going to play out?
I don't know.
I know. That's where I'm at too.
I don't know.
The whole point of us going on here is to break it down, and neither you or I have the words to describe.
I don't know.
It's been an odd finals, that's for sure. And
A very odd finals, dog. Like, and I get it. You said it last post game. Both of these teams are the two best teams coming into 2025. They're very well balanced. They're deep, well coached. So they cancel each other out pretty darn good. And it's just like I don't like game one. OKC, you have that in the bag. That should be game. And then Tyrese Halliburton does what Tyrese Halliburton does. And then y'all come back and beat them pretty good in game two. And then in game three, they're back home. Everybody's playing exceptionally well. And then in game four, right here, oh, okay, we're going back 3-1, to OKC. And then you let OKC come back. Like, it's like, dog,
yeah,
what am I watching? I don't know. I really do not know, dude. I don't know what's going to happen in game five.
because a lot of it's just, again, I keep harping back on this. This is the most shocking part of this game. Like it's not who Indiana is to play this poorly at the end of games. Like maybe it's just as simple as you play enough close games, you're just going to lose some of them. But it was more so just it wasn't the missing shots. It was, again, Halliburton dribbling out the clock. It was turnovers late. It was missed free throws by Benedict Mathurin, who was amazing in game three. He was they dropped 27 in that game. It's been, listen, I said coming into game three, I had Thunder in 6 coming in. I had the Pacers winning game 3, and then the Thunder winning the last 3 of the series to close out in 6, which would be next Thursday. I'm gonna stick to that because this was a very, very gutsy win by Oklahoma City. I'll say Thunder. I'm shocked. Maybe shouldn't be that shocked that Vegas has them favored by almost double digits. That doesn't feel like the way that these finals have trended outside of game 2. But I'll go Oklahoma City to win game 5.
I said it last game. When Ben Mathurin dropped 27, I said somebody from OKC bench got to step up and cancel that out. And then what happened? Alex Caruso gives you 20 this game. And guess what happened? Nobody on Indiana's bench was balling enough to cancel out that 20. So it was like, they flip-flop, man. It's like, one team is doing, whatever they've been doing all season exceptionally well, and the other team is just looking like a shell of themselves. And then when the right time comes, everything just flips. And it's just like, dog, what am I watching, bro? I don't know. There's no consistency here. Game 2 was probably like the real game 2 and game 3 have been like the real consistent like games to where it's like, okay, like this is what we expect from them, especially when they're playing at home and they're in a rhythm. And then you have the 2 games in game 1 and this game 4 where it's just like, what the hell is this? Like, this is foreign to me. I don't get it at all.
I think what you're hitting on is I feel like the better team won games 2 and 3. I feel like OKC was, whereas game 1, I feel like the Thunder was not like I felt like they were up double digits.
They were the better team.
They were the better team, and Indiana went and run. Halliburton hit another clutch shot, and then tonight, I feel like Indiana was the better team, and then Shea goes on a 7-0 run, and their defense fuels the rest of the way. A 12-1 run to close the basketball game. And listen, we got a 2-2 finals. I'm going to go with Oklahoma City once again. I don't know if I love -9.5. It feels like we're due for maybe another blowout in the series. And if there's one
from whose vantage point though is the question.
Well, I say Oklahoma City just because they're more capable of doing that. They've shown that. I mean, Indiana's wins have come by 1 and by 9. OKC's wins have come by 6 and by 7. By 16 and by 7. And so, I mean, I don't want to lean too much on the margin of victory thing, but that does matter over the course of predicting a 7-game series. But man, what a finals has been. Listen, Arthur, you're just gonna have to walk it back, man. This has been a good finals. Okay, last 2 finals were rubbish. Okay, we had a gentleman's sweep, Denver over 8 seed Miami. Then you had the Mavericks getting the doors blown off them by the Celtics because Boston couldn't miss a 3. This is what I want to see in the finals. Just if nothing else, we don't have a villain. I get it. I want to see the trophy on the court too. Like those are legitimate knocks. The basketball's been great. You got to admit that, Arthur. Before we get out of here, you got to admit that.
If I'm comparing it to the last 2 years, it has been significantly better than that. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. By the way, Oklahoma City undefeated this postseason after a loss. Like, this is a team that gets up back off the mat. They've shown a real, they've shown an ability to handle adversity. Down 2-1 Denver Nuggets, down 2-1 in this series. And now we got a 2-2 finals. I got Oklahoma City in game 5. And we'll be back for game 5. So tune in at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific time, live on the Grid Network on YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram. We hope to see you there. Arthur, I'll see you there. Hopefully Paris will join us. For those that are wondering, Paris didn't just jump out of here because his team lost. Paris too good of a man for that. I know that. He's busy. He's got other things going on right now. So hopefully we can have Paris on to react to this big Pacers fan. Game 5, once again, our reaction will be at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Arthur, appreciate you stopping by again, my man. Looking forward to game 5.
Yes,
and
sir.
we will see everybody then. So stay safe out there and good night.